Alright everybody, so now we are reacting to the Aura Guardian again, because this is a good channel. And this is the 50 dumbest decisions Pokemon has made. I'll tell you the first one, them taking out all those amazing sprite animations in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and just not adding it to Sword and Shield, taking out the National Pokédex and Sword and Shield, the first Switch game, making Platinum, making Diamond and Pearl remakes like they did. With there's a lot.
Have you ever played a game that contained something that made you go, why did they include this? A decision by the company that you thought was really, really dumb. Or you can bet that the Pokemon franchise has at least a few, and by a few I mean at least 50 dumb decisions.
Fire away, boy.
So why don't we take a look at some of them? Here are 50 of, in my opinion, the dumbest decisions that Pokemon has made. And they are: giving Volkner the Electric Gym Leader and Flint the Fire-type Elite Four member, teams that barely use their respective types. Deciding that Alola Marowak should learn its signature move at level 27, when Cubone evolves at level 28. Deciding that you can only catch certain Johto Pokemon in a completely different region. Only having one Fire-type option in Diamond and Pearl if you don't start with the Fire starter. Not giving Flygon a Mega Revolution just because they couldn't come up with a cool enough design. Creating events for special Pokemon and never distributing them. With the Azure Flute not being distributed because they thought it would be
Black and White too, didn't they distribute like every single legendary known to man at the time? Now I don't really know. I just remember they were doing some crazy stuff and they were giving away so much, and I had the DS and the 3DS and the game, and I never actually went and accepted them. There was a lot of legendaries they were giving out. You don't really do that anymore.
too complex for kids, despite some of the other puzzles that have been featured in the games. Having no Battle Frontier in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and instead leaving a sign that never fulfilled its statement. Making an entire power plant in X and Y that's almost completely locked off. Not including an Elite Four in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I didn't know that. That's evil.
Hoping that people would completely forget about the GS Ball. We never did. How following Pokemon was implemented in Sword and Shield.
I'll give you that.
Really? Making Pokemon this slow in Pokemon Camp.
Wow. No, sir. You can barely tell it's moving. No, not all that slow. That's just you. It has to be. I've played the camping part of Pokemon. That's just Dunsparce, bro. That even is a Dunsparce. I don't know what that is. But whatever. It's just you.
The fact that Lickitung couldn't learn Lick in Gen 1. Deciding that for almost 8 generations, Castforms, Weather Forms weren't going to have shinies. Pokemon being ruined by their 3D model, as well as their shiny. Getting event Pokemon for free, instead of having some sort of puzzle to obtain it. Deciding this shiny was okay. Replacing the PSS with the Festival Plaza. And then replacing the Festival Plaza with this. Making certain items worse.
True that.
What were they thinking? Deciding that Charmander can't learn.
Pokemon Master.
What were they thinking?
Seriously.
Deciding that Charmander can't learn Metal Claw anymore. Making most alternative skins in Smash and Pokken not the shiny forms. Why? Shiny locking specific Pokemon like legendaries and starters. And not shiny locking other Pokemon. Like ones that are impossible to catch, needing to go to a specific person to forget a HM. So in Gen 1, if you taught a Pokemon a HM, it had it forever. Pokemon in the anime that faint to moves that should have no effect. Showing off a Pokemon using a move that it can't learn. The fact that Nidoking and Nidoqueen still can't breed with each other. giving Pokemon a type in the TCG that is nothing like its actual type, making Diamond and Pearl so slow.
Hey man, that's real talk. I feel it's gonna go to 0. Look at him like, oh, it's good deal. That's a lot of health, though. That's like the longest you'll ever wait for that.
The GTS. Deciding Fog was okay. The fact that the giant rock snake...
I hate Fog. I hate it. And as a person who has played the emulations, I really hate it.
...is weaker than a weed, allowing Pokemon to learn moves that they'll never be able to use. Not being able to turn the EXP share off in certain games. The length of starter resets in Generation 6.
That actually makes the game a little bit boring because you overlevel too easily, and then it's just like, why am I playing? Playing for a story now? This is God of War?
7.
One minute, 37 seconds later. Thousands of tears later.
Pokemon Dex entries that not only make no sense, but also completely go against the Pokemon. The fact that you can't take your hat off in X and Y. Deciding that all 3 Alola starters should be extremely slow. Pokemon that are much shorter / taller than you think.
Wow.
Pokemon that are much heavier / lighter than you think.
What?
Choosing to scrap certain beta Pokemon. Choosing to scrap or change certain shiny forms. Deciding that we should have 3 firefighting type starters in a row. Deciding that water and fizzy drinks heal a Pokemon better than a potion.
What do you think it means about pharmaceuticals?
Getting rid of ball seals. Come on, these were so cool. Getting rid of triple and rotation battles.
Dang, for
The
real
fact
though.
that a free-for-all battle ends when only one Pokemon faints.
I've never seen that. That's whack.
That's just dumb. And the last dumb decision by Pokemon in this video is... most of Ash's League losses in the anime. Specifically,
He's gonna say a Sinnoh one, bro. I'm pretty sure.
the Indigo League, Sinnoh League, Unova League, and Kalos League. Indigo League, he lost because his Charizard fell asleep. Sinnoh
He lost to a person who had all legendaries, bro. That is not fair, bro. Bro got put up against a god, bro. That's not it, bro. And somehow Cynthia still won. Bro, get out of here. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro.
Sinnoh League, he lost to a guy who definitely used an action replay. Unova League, he lost to a trainer that literally forgot to bring a full team of 6. And he lost in Kalos because the...
I'm sorry, Black and White was one of the worst. I think it's the worst of the Pokemon anime, simply because that was like when they first turned Ash back into a kid for real, and they made him for real, like not just age wise. I mean, he was always the same age, but he looked like he was 15 in the original. But they made him look like he was 10 again. They made him think like he was a 10-year-old, which is like the worst part. He was being real dumb, bro. His Pikachu lost to a Snivy, bro. Like straight out the gate, like Snivy was like level 1, bro, or 5. Pikachu was like level 70 plus, and he lost. He lost, and it was just bad. I'm glad that like after Black and White, they kind of freshened them up in X and Y, and other whatever other series. They got X and Y, they got the Sun and Moon. He was just better. He was just better. Thank God. It's that black and white. Like I watched it because I was, it's what I was watching. I was a kid, but man, that was not good. Like, he wasn't a smart guy anymore. He didn't think.
The writers decided he should. Despite Ash having his best team he's ever had before, and definitely deserving the W after all this time. I mean, sure, he finally won an Alola, but not including the Orange Islands League, Alola shouldn't have been his first league win. So yeah, that was pretty dumb. And there we go, 50 of the dumbest decisions that Pokémon has made so far. Despite loving the majority of the franchise, there still are some dumb decisions that didn't make the cut. However, if I ever make a part 2, and Pokémon eventually make even more questionable decisions, I'll definitely consider it. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Pokémon videos in the future, and until next time, thank you so much for watching.
Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, he had very smart takes the entire time. I agree with them all. So with that being said, thanks for joining. Aura Guardian is a very good channel. I'm gonna keep watching, bro. Yeah, peace.